Hello YouTube! I am Torstein from Cinema Terror, and it's time to explore another movie from one of my favorite movie directors, Dario Argento. And the choice of the day is his last directorial effort as of yet, the much maligned version of Bram Stoker's Dracula from 2012. I saw this not long after its original release, and I was not happy. I am one of the fewer Argento fans that still enjoy his output during the 90s and 2000s. I like Mother of Tears, I like Giallo, I even like Do You Like Hitchcock. So when Dracula came out and bored me to death, I had no choice but to just sit back and let the disappointment flow through me. That being said, sometimes the hype can color your movie watching experience, and I definitely feel that Argento has delivered enough of countless hours of entertainment for me to give this a second chance. And since I recently got the new Oculus Go virtual reality glasses and for the first time have the option of watching films in 3D at home, I figured this would be as good of an opportunity as ever to get the full experience of Dario Argento's Dracula in 3D. The story in Dracula is something most horror fans will be familiar with, as it is a very traditional adaptation of the classic Bram Stoker story. Here we spend all the time in Transylvania, first with Jonathan Harker, a young British librarian who is there to work for Count Dracula, and then by his wife Mina Harker, who arrives later on expecting to be welcomed by her husband, but is rather met by her friend Lucy, as Jonathan has not shown any sign of himself after he went up to the Count's castle. Mina seeks out the Count to find her husband, but as we all know by now, Dracula is not out there doing good deeds. I remember that my first complaint after watching this film was that I didn't feel there was any need to do another traditional adaptation of the Dracula story, as it has been done so many times already, and that's something I still felt today after revisiting it. Argento himself has said at the time that he felt he could bring something unique and new to it by having it being filmed in 3D. But I have to kindly disagree with him on that aspect, as regardless if it is in 2D or 3D, the story is still the same, and by this point it has become a bit too dull for me. If you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, and you still get hyped for a traditional Dracula movie, then by all means, look past this criticism by me, and you can probably add a point to the film when you get to my final score for it. The first time I saw this was in regular 2D. So did I, or perhaps you, miss out on anything by not seeing it in 3D at the time? Not really. I am very into 3D movies at the moment due to my new Oculus glasses, and while it is a very fun thing, I wouldn't say that it has elevated any of the movies for me. After now watching a few of the movies that went hard on the 3D aspect, like Piranha 3D and such, I actually feel that they are underusing the 3D gimmick, if you will, and would have liked it if they had filmed their movies catering to the 3D crowd even more than what they did. The 3D stuff in Dracula is fine, but it's not something that stands out from other movies, which sucks, as you could be going into this with some justifiable hype considering what great of a visual eye Argento has, and the idea of him making a film in 3D makes sense in that aspect. Or just the hope that he would deliver a film that would make up for his dull story by having some visual flair at all. This is sort of a Hammer horror tribute of sorts from him, but I'm more impressed by the looks of some of the old Hammer films than I am on this, even if you would count out the fact that there is a 50-year difference between them and this new Dracula film. It surprised me even more when I look at the other experienced crew members involved in this. The cinematographer is none other than Luciano Tovoli, a guy who's been working in the industry for years and years and also provided his services on earlier Argento films like Tenebrae and Suspiria. It also doesn't help that Argento's Dracula has some really shitty CGI effects. The good old Count transforms into different creatures, including a big-ass mantis, and some of it, together with a cheap set design, is on level with below average quality sci-fi films. I should mention that the music is done by Claudio Simonetti, and it had an old-school Hammer feel to it. Fun, small tunes that did stand out a bit in this film, but would not make any greatest hits compilation that he would put together from this legendary musician. The acting also leaves a lot to be desired. The good thing about Jonathan disappearing after a halfway mark or so is that the performance of Unax Ugalde is pretty awful. Marta Castini is better as Mina and is very easy on the eyes. She reminded me a bit of a younger Asia Argento. And speaking of which, Asia is also in this in the role of Lucy. While I think it's always nice to see Asia on the screen, she doesn't feel truly committed in this. For some reason, Dario seems to always want to shoot scenes of his daughter naked, and does so again here. It's just weird, and does not get any less weird even if they have now been doing it several times over the last 20 years. She is reunited in this film with Thomas Kretschmann, who both played together in another of Darius' films, The Stendhal Syndrome. Kretschmann plays Dracula in this film, and while I do generally like him in the few things I've seen him in, he is bland and forgettable as the good old Count. Oh, and Rutger Hauer shows up to give an uninspired performance and to save the day in the final part of the film as Van Helsing. Dario Argento's Dracula is a sad entry to his long and impressive filmography. I've been hoping for his project The Sandman to get into motion for several years now, as I just don't want him to end his directorial career on Dracula, and hopefully it won't. Can I recommend this to anybody? Well, I'm sure there will be someone out there that will find some enjoyment in it, so if you're a diehard fan of the Bram Stoker book and never get tired of film adaptation of the story, then perhaps you might enjoy some parts of it. At nearly 2 hours long, this is definitively lowest on the list of Argento films that I have watched. That being said, it is not the worst vampire film that I've ever seen. I was hoping that by revisiting it, that I would find something that I might have missed the first time around, but sadly that did not happen, and I will have to give it the same final score that I gave it when I did a written review for it back when it first came out. Dario Argento's Dracula is sadly just poor, and as such gets a low score of 1.5 out of 5. Have you seen this film? Did you like it more than I did? And if you're into 3D movies, any good horror movies that I need to check out in that format? Let your thoughts flow free in the comment section below. As mentioned, I do have video reviews of 2 other Argento films on my channel. You can find both Mother of Tears and Trauma there, and surely there will be more to come in the future. So if you enjoyed this video, then a subscribe, like and all of that stuff is deeply appreciated. Thank you.